You know, it's funny. I woke up this morning thinking, well, it's going to be weird having an off day of videos and stuff like that. And then I turn to Twitter and I go to Instagram and I'm like, oh yeah, it's the NBA draft tonight. And the Raptors have the 13th overall selection. Well, no free pass tonight. Got a video to make. And here we are. We thought, earlier today, recently we've been hearing a lot of the Scoot Henderson stuff, and I'm within the Portland 3rd overall pick, and I'm like, the Raptors aren't going to do that. They're just not. Then we hear the stuff about Pascal Siakam wanting to be a Raptor for a long time, and if he got traded somewhere else, he most likely would not sign with that team. So there's that. So that throws the whole Portland thing into all out of whack. And so that means the Raptors were going to make the 13th overall selection. And without further ado, your newest Raptor. Well, you know what? Adam Silver, take it away.
With the 13th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Toronto Raptors select Gradey Dick from the University of Kansas.
Perhaps the most interesting electric suit in the green room tonight. Gradey Dick from Kansas is on his way to Toronto. He's already wearing the Raptors colors.
The suit is as electric as his three-point shooting.
The first thing that comes to everybody's mind is obviously the suit. I mean, come on. Raptor red. When he put that Raptor red hat on as well, I'm like, yeah, it just hits different, doesn't it? It just hit differently. Gradey Dick is a Toronto Raptor with a 13th overall selection out of Kansas and out of Kansas for the Jayhawks. From Kansas, and he played for the Jayhawks. A freshman, 20 years old. He's fresh blood. And you know what, Raptor fans? The dude can shoot. Something that Raptor fans have been going absolutely bananas about for the last, I don't know how long now. About this team not being able to shoot from beyond the arc, the inconsistencies there, and it's quite ugly, blah, blah, blah. You got a guy today. And he's raw talent. 6'8", 205 pounds, 7-foot wingspan. As I mentioned, only 20 years of age. And I'm going to quickly ream off his stats, talk briefly about the positives and negatives, and then leave the rest to you guys. All right? So, his statistics from his one and only year with Kansas. 14.1 points a game, 5.1 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.4 steals, 0.3 blocks, 1.3 turnovers per game. And here comes the interesting stuff. 44.2% from the field. 40.3% from three. And that's the appetizing part for the Raptors. And 85.4% from the free throw line. So, good stuff there. Lots of good stuff. Now let's talk about some negatives and positives, okay? Let's start with the strengths. And the strengths for Gradey Dick are very evident. And I've talked about it already a few times in this video because it's very exciting. The three-point shooting. If you watch a lot of his highlights and you watch a lot of his video, it's a lot of catch and shoot stuff. And think, Raptor fans, where this Raptor team lies. How many times this year have we watched the Toronto Raptors play and you see Pascal drive into the paint, 3 defenders come over, and he kicks it to Precious, and he airballs a 3. Or Scotty, and he holds it, takes a 3, rims out. And you're like, this team just can't shoot the 3. Well, you could arguably say the best thing that Gradey Dick is able to do is catch and shoot 3s. And guys like Scotty, guys like Pascal, are dudes that are going to be driving downhill, getting into the paint. That's where Scotty is at his best. That's where Pascal is at their best. And what that means is they're going to draw extra defenders, and that will leave guys open. Like Gradey Dick. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the offense. Obviously, no more Nick Nurse. So we're going to be seeing a lot of different combinations, a lot of different things going on. So you can't look at last year and just slap Gradey Dick in there and think, oh, this is how it's going to look. Because new coach, new system, no clue how it's going to look. But the Raptors have a shooter. And it's brilliant. Now, not only is he a great three-point shooter overall. His off-ball scoring is really good. Watching a lot of his stuff as well, when a guy like Pascal has the ball up high, he is trying to get free, whether it's using screens, whether it's using two or three different bodies, even his own guy to get free. How many times last year did we watch the ball get stuck with Pascal, stuck with Fred, stuck with Scotty, and even Gary? With like 10 seconds left, nobody else has touched the ball. Then they try some sporadic thing, and it leads to a heavily contested shot, and more often than not, you miss them. Way too much. Gradey Dick is great at getting open. At least from what I was watching, and from what I can see, it looks great. Transition play. He is phenomenal in transition. Now, yes, the Raptors of last year were a team that prided themselves on causing turnovers, getting out in transition, which would definitely lead to what Gradey Dick desires. He's very good at the transition, stop up, take a three. Now, we will see with the new offense how he's able to mold into that. But it seems like his offense is very versatile. And not only without the ball. Now, yes, I read the assist numbers earlier, 1.7 assists. He's obviously not a playmake first, guard, right? That's not what Gradey Dick is all about. But he has that in him. You were watching some of those highlights and you see some of these tough passes and you're like, okay, he's got that sort of playmaker in him. He ain't the Scotty Barnes guys. You're not going to see guys, no-look passes. You're not going to see a lot of that with Gradey Dick. But you're going to see the simple stuff, the good passes, the, guys come over, the pick and rolls type stuff as well. It's going to be interesting. I'm very excited to see what he has on the non-shooting side of things, because that's all we keep hearing about is how great of a shooter he is. I'm very excited to see what happens next for Gradey Dick. Now, let's quickly touch on the negatives before we wrap this thing up. And it's the one thing that I watched first thing I saw when I watched the highlight pack, I'm like, okay, he can shoot. He's great at all these things. He looks a little slower with his feet. Now, again, he's 20 years old. I'm not going to say he's a finished product because he's obviously not. But from what I could tell from the highlight pack, it seems like when he was ISO with a lot of guys, he had trouble creating his own offense, albeit a freshman. Again, I'm not going to get out of it. 20-year-old kid, he was a freshman last year, so I understand him having a little bit of issues with shot creation, but that is something that this Raptor team doesn't really have. Sure, Pascal has his mid-range jumper that he got really good at last year, but Scotty Barnes, right, you'd like to see that mid-range continue to get better and the three-point shot get better and this and that, but really, when you look at the Toronto Raptors and what makes teams great, a prime example, and we'll go back to when this team was phenomenal, Kawhi Leonard. What was he so good at? Grabbing a guy one-on-one and taking him to school. Now, I'm not trying to compare Gradey Dick to Kawhi Leonard because this is not fair. But from what I could tell, it seemed like, at least in the moments, he had trouble with some self-creation. Now, that is something that he will grow into and get better at, but as of right now, that seems to be the thing to work on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, he seems to be getting into passing lanes quite often. If you heard the stats there earlier, I think it was like he averages 1.4 steals a game, so, he's very good at getting into passing lanes, as a lot of the Raptors are. The one thing, though, when he gets those quick guards on the perimeter, they do blow by him a little bit, and that leads to that, how good your foot speed and all that kind of stuff. So that's something to be interested about and see how he plays off of that. And he knows that, because if you watch the highlight packs, or I guess I don't know what you want to call them when they're not good, the low light packs, sure. When he's got the quick guard on him, he sags off them a bit, and in the NBA, you're going to get punished by three-point shooting that way. Now, he will learn that. He'll get the foot speed up, and obviously he's going to get stronger as well. And with getting stronger leads to being more physical and being able to keep guys in front of you more, and you'll be able to have the confidence to get up more in guys' grill and be able to contest those shots and allow those blow-bys, but be there to contest because of your strength and your quickness. He's going to grow. I'm not worried about him at all, but it's going to be very interesting with the new coach and the new coaching staff, how he's integrated in the offense, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for Gradey Dick being a Toronto Raptor, smack that like button. I do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. If you guys not done so already, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below, so follow up there if you guys not done so already, and I will talk to you guys, of course, Jays Edition. That'll be tomorrow night, game 1 of the 3 games against the Oakland A's at Rogers Center. I'll probably be at that game, so it'll be later than usual, but it will be uploaded tomorrow, so no worries there. And I will talk to you guys at Raptors Edition, maybe Fred VanVleet re-signing, maybe some sort of free agent signing when free agency kicks off. We shall see how it all plays out, though. Let me know all your thoughts down below about Gradey Dick being a Raptor, your thoughts, your feelings, all that stuff. Let me know, and I'll talk to you guys whenever.